2017 was an awesome year for video games. The Switch was a huge success, Injustice 2 featured better superhero battles than the Justice League, and 4K gaming has finally arrived. Despite all the good, there was plenty of bad. Let's relive the moments we want to forget and see how 2018 can improve on them all, or challenge it to somehow destroy us even further. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new content. Now, enjoy watching the 10 biggest video game fails of 2017. Star Wars loot crates. Yeah, starting with this one is the obvious choice, right? 2017 was filled with plenty of gamer rage, but a majority of it was directed at one game: Star Wars Battlefront 2. The hype for the game had everything going for it. The built-in excitement for Star Wars The Last Jedi, all new campaign modes, and characters like Luke Skywalker helped encourage an instant success. Then, the beta edition of Star Wars Battlefront 2 was released. Gamers were excited to try out the game and check out all the new features until they discovered the dreaded loot crates. The use of loot crates made it a challenge to reach achievements and encouraged a lot of extra spending on top of the base game price. Loot crates and microtransactions have been the subject of controversy for years, but things may have finally come to a head. EA Games made a huge mistake by messing with the force of the Star Wars fanbase. Complaints and protests reached an all-time high, forcing EA to completely change the game and eventually eliminate loot crates altogether. Their statement on the matter became the most downvoted post on Reddit ever. Not just in video games, on the whole website. Now that's saying something. If you were disappointed by Battlefront 2, at least there's some positives to take from it. It should serve as a huge message to gaming companies that we can't be taken advantage of when it comes to microtransactions and in-game purchases. Sonic Forces. The Sonic franchise has been feeding off its nostalgia for years now. Sonic the Hedgehog is recognizable and great as a supporting character in games like Super Smash Bros. Or Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, but he just can't seem to hold his own like he used to. 2017 looked to change that with not one but two game releases starring the famed Blue Hedgehog. The first release was Sonic Mania, a dedication to the glory days of Sonic. The side-scrolling platformer was a great game that features callbacks to Sonic's old days, plenty of characters, and new adventures to explore. SEGA even embraced the "and Knuckles" meme by including it as a secret mode in-game. The budget price made it affordable, and Sonic Mania was a nice addition to multiple platforms. But SEGA should have stopped there. The second release of the year was Sonic Forces, a full 3D platformer that took multiple years of development and fails to live up to expectations. While Mario is killing it in the 3D realm of Super Mario Odyssey, Sonic is weak in comparison. SEGA just can't seem to get the 3D elements of Sonic working well, and it shows. The game is buggy, doesn't flow well, and misses the mark on several levels. It might not be at the Sonic 06 level of bad, but it's not far off. More work should have been put into DLC content for Sonic Mania instead. It's pretty clear Sonic's high-speed formula truly works best in the 2D side-scrolling format. SEGA needs to ditch all the gimmicks and stick with the classic Sonic we all know and love. Some of us maybe a little too much. GameStop's rental program. The rise of easy-access digital game downloads has presented some struggles for brick-and-mortar stores like GameStop, but the company continues to fight to keep business booming for gamers who enjoy shopping in an actual store. One way they planned on doing this was with the GameStop Power Pass. The plan was to turn GameStop into a modern-day Blockbuster Video, and it sounded pretty promising. The stores would allow gamers with the Power Pass to rent an unlimited amount of used games while on a paid plan. For $60, the price of a retail game, the Power Pass would last for 6 months. After the 6 months passed, the plan would allow players to keep any used game for free. Sounds pretty sweet, right? Not so fast. Just as quickly as the Power Pass was rolled out, it was completely stopped. There was no direct reason for it to stop, but rumors swirled about outdated register and point-of-sale systems failing to properly implement the rentals. Apparently, the Edge cards could barely work on their systems for the first year. It sounds like GameStop needs to work off a newer OS NES and not their old-ass proprietary version of XP. Once again, GameStop find themselves eating the dust of modern technology and changing ways. The plans could have kept people coming to stores, renting games, and making other purchases. Now there's a bad taste left in the mouths of fans who signed up for the plan only to have it taken away. Hopefully, GameStop can get organized and relaunch the program in 2018. Red Dead Redemption 2's delay. Rockstar Games is still selling Grand Theft Auto V like hotcakes, but fans have eagerly been awaiting another sequel from the developer. In the fall of 2017, we were supposed to get our hands on the long-awaited Red Dead Redemption 2, but it looks like we fell for a mirage of sorts. In the spring of this past year, Rockstar Games announced the game would be delayed and pushed back to the first quarter of 2018, which I recall saying they would do the second it was announced for fall because there's no way that was gonna happen. In replacement of pre-orders or some more game previews, the company only released additional screenshots. What a tease. Even with just the screenshots, the game looks incredible, in-depth, and has the potential to excel past the first Red Dead Redemption. We guess the closest you can come to playing Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2017 is revisiting the first one again, or wearing Mario's cowboy outfit in Super Mario Odyssey and getting into some crazy fun. The one benefit of Red Dead Redemption 2's delay is knowing the developer is trying to get everything done right. There's nothing worse than building hype for a game, rushing it into release, and dealing with a buggy game with a few updates to fix these errors. When Red Dead Redemption 2 finally hits store shelves in 2018, it should look and feel as perfect as it sounds. Unless Rob Weedhoff's beautiful voice isn't in the game as John Marston, then I'll be very, very sad. WWE 2K18 for Switch. Just like Madden NFL and the NBA 2K series, wrestling fans look forward to a new game release each year. This year's release was WWE 2K18. Initially released on the Xbox One and PS4, the game features a massive roster, expanded the in-ring competitors from 6 to 8, and features an in-depth story mode with superstars like John Cena and Seth Rollins. In December, the pro wrestling game was ported to the Switch, but in truth, they should have waited until WWE 2K19. The rushed port plays awful. Wrestling matches feel like they're in slow motion. Yes, the frame rates are that bad. The game cannot handle 8 wrestlers at once, so it has a limit of 6. It feels like a downgrade even when compared to Xbox 360 versions of previous releases. When the game is going incredibly slow, it can be incredibly glitchy. The commentary cuts off and often never makes sense. Wrestling moves do not flow evenly, and glitches occur a lot when weapons or other objects are being used. The game also requires a massive download at the point of purchase. If you buy it physically, it's like buying an empty memory card and you still need a separate microSD card on top of it. Other than Mario Kart, the Switch was lacking sports games, and this was not the best way to go. Marvel Heroes bids farewell. Before Disney purchased 20th Century Fox and brought the X-Men along with it, it was rare to see MCU heroes combined with the X-Men and other characters like the Fantastic Four. One of the best ways to see all these heroes together on screen was with the Marvel Heroes game. The MMO featured a huge database of heroes which could be selected for online play. Wolverine could run around with Iron Man, and Deadpool could flirt with Black Widow. Marvel fans rejoiced in playing in the worlds, completing missions, and socializing. Originally released in 2013, Marvel Heroes had an amazing run and even expanded beyond the PC to consoles like the PS4. Then, out of nowhere, Disney pulled the rug out from underneath players, ending their relationship with game developer Gazillion Entertainment, and Marvel Heroes was set to shut down. While players looked forward to the last few months of playing, an even bigger shock came to the gaming community. 1 month ahead of schedule, Marvel Heroes completely shut down. The servers were stopped and players were denied access. We imagine many fans turned into versions of the Hulk as they rampaged about losing their final moments in the game. Gazillion Entertainment completely folded as a company because of it, and we're not sure what's next for Marvel and the online gaming community. Sega Genesis Flashback. Nostalgia was in full force in 2017. People started off the year still trying to track down the NES Classic, only to learn about the release of the Super Nintendo Classic. People were clamoring to play classic games again and to do it with an all-in-one console. SEGA also tried to hop on board with the Sega Genesis FLASHBACK console. The gaming console was designed like a classic SEGA, but there were many problems that plagued it from the start. No wonder it was so much easier to find than the SNES Classic Edition. The advertising for the console bragged about having at least 90 games, but once you got into the awkward and tough-to-navigate menu, it was clear that nearly 30 of these games were never actually released for the Sega Genesis. You may have gotten excited seeing the classic Sonic games, only to realize that the games played slow, featured poor frame rates, and were nothing like you remembered. The whole thing feels like a rip-off. The hardware itself isn't that great either. The thing is powered using a large AC adapter, and the controller is stiff and cheap-feeling. One of the only positives of the system is the ability to play old Sega cartridges that you have lying around. The frame rate may not be great, but you can still get some use out of favorites which may not have been included with the console. Let's hope that the Atari box turns out better than this did. Troll and I. Troll and I would make a great movie. The story follows a young boy named Otto who befriends a large troll after his village is burned down. The pair must solve puzzles, fight off scary enemy creatures, and avoid a hunter looking to take out the troll. The video game version of this story feels like another crappy movie adaptation that didn't translate well into a game. Except it wasn't based off of a movie, and the game had a lot of potential, which ended up being a huge bomb. The game has poor camera controls, some weird concepts, and players can die with just a single hit. One of the very first levels in the game features Otto rolling down a hill as players move him to avoid obstacles. One bad move, and you have to start the whole hill descent again. It's dizzying and doesn't get much better afterwards. The game makes it seem like a sandbox forest, open to explore, but there are clear paths and trigger points that make you feel like you're on rails the entire time. The Nintendo Switch port of the game is even worse than the other versions. Graphics are glitchy, gameplay elements are lacking, and it's just a huge waste of money. You will get trolled if you decide to invest anything into Troll and I. Xbox One X launch. 4K gaming has officially arrived, and fans eagerly awaited the 2017 release of the powerhouse console simply known as the Xbox One X. Priced at $500, the console's hefty expense was backed with powerful hardware, incredible graphics, and the ability to improve upon games already released. So everyone in line at midnight got to purchase the console, plug it in, and realize that there were no launch games to go with it. Launch games are essential for consoles, and it seems almost pointless to not have them. The hype of the 4K graphics was a major letdown because the main title Xbox was going to release got delayed until 2018. They still forged on and released the console, but had no true 4K games to go with it. The game in question was Crackdown 3, an action-adventure sequel where everything in the open world could be destroyed, and all in stunning 4K detail. While the graphic improvements on current HD games are great to look at, 2017 was not the year we would see the true potential of 4K gaming. It's only the beginning, and hopefully anyone who shelled out $500 for the Xbox One X will get their money's worth in the future. Crackdown 3 is currently scheduled for a spring 2018 release with no final date set. Hopefully we're not repeating the same entry on this list in 2019. Mario's failure. Warning: some major spoilers will follow for Mario games on the Nintendo Switch. 2017 was a banner year for Mario. The release of the Switch showcased the former plumber in hit games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and of course, Super Mario Odyssey. While Super Mario Odyssey was nearly a perfect game, it had one major fail, and it involved Mario himself. After years of teasing, 2017 finally felt like the year Mario and Peach would tie the knot and declare their love for each other. It was hinted at in game trailers, wedding attire was featured on amiibo figures, and Nintendo officially referred to Mario as a former plumber. Anyone who actually played the game would quickly realize that this was not the case, and Mario failed big time. During the climactic cinematic scene featuring Mario, Princess Peach, and Bowser, both Bowser and Mario beg for Peach's attention and love. The end result? Peach ditches them both and starts to fly away on the Odyssey ship. Not only was Mario dumped by Peach, but she tried to fly away and abandon the poor guy on the moon. It appears like no matter how many times Mario rescues Peach, there will never be a true happy ending for the couple. Well, we still have some hope for Luigi and Daisy at least. Super Luigi Odyssey, anyone? Wow, well, there you have it. So, what do you think was the biggest gaming fail of 2017? What was the biggest success? Anything we missed? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to The Gamer so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos. Thanks for watching!